What's Dp-Ygo here, looking at the brand new Link Mermail monster that was just revealed by Konami, coming out in the Link Frames pack, and I guess in doing so, they pretty much put a little more confirmation on our rumored list. And at this point, guys, I said it, a few days ago that I believe that the list was 100% accurate because there was just too much evidence stacking up. So you Gem Knight fans out there, you Evil Swarm fans, Madoche fans, Invoke fans, like, get hyped because you know your Link monsters are coming within the next couple of weeks. You will be seeing those be revealed probably, I don't know, maybe by the end of this weekend. This is Mermail Abyssaraki. She is a Link 2 with her points being bottom left and bottom right. Tell me if you've heard that before. When it comes to this damn pack, literally every monster except the Lightsworn one is Link 2 with bottom left and bottom right as the points. She is a Sea Serpent monster, water attribute, obviously, because she's a mermail. 2 fish, sea serpent, or aqua monsters is what is required to summon her, which is obviously easy in Mermail because that's what the archetype is made up of. Same thing goes for Atlanteans, but it goes a little further than that. I mean, you can easily make her in Paleozoic because, I mean, all the frogs are aqua, the paleo monsters are aqua. That's why you can make Totally Awesome to begin with. So if you can make Totally Awesome, you can make this card as well. Let's see. Her second and third effects are hard once per turn. First effect, monsters linked to this card gain 500 attack and defense. I think that that's actually pretty good. The main reason is I would probably say Mega Low, and also it doesn't just work on Mermail monsters. So if you have some other Xyz or something like that, maybe other Link monsters, those monsters will benefit from the attack gain. But Mega Low can attack twice, so that's 1,000 extra damage on a card that is known to just give you those OTKs. Second effect during your opponent's turn. Quick effect, you can send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard, add 1 Mermail monster from your deck to your hand. I think that this is supposed to be your disruption ability, not just a tutor, but if you pitch maybe an infantry from your hand or a marksman, pop a card from your opponent's side of the field, and then you can also get the search. If you pitch dragoons, you can probably just get yourself an Abyssaraki, and then you search from your copy of dragoons, and you should have what you need to summon your Abyssaraki during the next turn. The third effect is basically like a built-in Abyss Spear. It's almost like identical to Abyss Spear in a weird way. It makes me wish that Title was still a card. It says if this card was destroyed by an opponent's attacking monster or opponent's effect, you can send 1 water monster from your deck to the graveyard, then target 1 water monster in your graveyard, special summon it in defense position. So yeah, I say that this would be so much better if like we still had the Dragon Rulers and you could send Title to the graveyard and then get like an Abyssaraki or something like that. But yeah, this is basically like an Abyss Sphere. I mean, you get a free dump, and then you can, I mean, I imagine, yeah, you should be able to activate Dragoons off of this, right? And then be able to just summon something off. It's a really nice effect, and it is essentially Abyss Spear. The one thing about this card, right? So to me, this is a weird card in design. And the reason that I say that is because on paper, I think that Abyssaraki is an excellent card. I think that you will run this card. I think you probably run 1 of her and maybe 1 copy of Mistar Boy. I think if you know you're going to OTK, Mistar Boy might be better. But if not, then probably this is better. Like if you're going first, I'd rather have Abyssaraki way over Mistar Boy because she can have a possible disruption play. And her floating are like a lot better than Mistar Boy's. Even in Paleo, kind of the same thing. The reason that I say that this card is kind of weird in design is because it kind of feels like it goes against the grain, right? We all know Mermail as this deck that's, ever since like the Arc V era, ever since we got Nephthybis, Mermail is like this super rush down, we want to kill your ass in the first 2 turns type of, deck. And it seems like this card is more defensive. I mean, the effect can only be activated during the opponent's turn, both the third and the second and the third effect. And if you look at the third effect, right? This is what tells me that Konami did not want people OTKing with this card. It says opponent's attacking monster and your monster gets summoned in defense mode. So I imagine they knew like, okay, if we have somebody crash this in to an opponent's monster, they're just going to dump something, get a surge, and then summon a Megalo and kill their opponent. So they even specifically made it so like it couldn't activate during your opponent's turn. So it's really weird. I think Konami is like trying to move Mermail away from the whole like OTK or bust type of deck and maybe make it more of a control type deck like it was during Zexal, because if you guys remember, during Zexal, people would run like multiple copies of Abyss Spear. Remember those? Remember that card? Like, do you guys remember the time when people ran like 3 copies of Abyss Spear? No one even runs Abyss Spear anymore, and yet this card has a built-in Abyss Spear. So I think that this card is good. You're going to run it. If you go first, this is your go-to card. But I think that it's really kind of strange that Konami went against they went against what Mermail is doing best currently in the game. I think that they're trying to make Mermail more of a slower, grindy type deck. That's the only explanation I can have for why these effects activate during the opponent's turn. And I mean, that obviously doesn't benefit Mermail. If this card could activate both of those effects during your turn, like, oh my god, this would have been fucking amazing. Like, I think that this is a good card. But if she didn't have that restriction, she would have been a great card. But you're still going to run it. I think this card is also extremely good in Paleozoic because if your opponent destroys it, then you can send, like, I don't know, a random rodent toad into the graveyard and summon, like, a dupe frog from your graveyard. Like, that's pretty good. Or just dump a rodent toad in and then summon it back and you have a 2000 defense, you know, booty on the field. And it should basically act just as Mr. Boy in most situations in that deck anyway. So, very solid card overall. It could have been, like, ridiculously OP, but not quite. So, anyways, whatever you guys think, leave it in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already and turn on those notifications for daily videos. Also, Konami, please let the Gem Knight monster be broken. Let it summon like 3 copies of Lady Brilliant Diamond. Let it actually ignore the summoning condition of Lady Brilliant Diamond, how you can only summon her once per turn. Please let it ignore that.